check,
happened
check,
for the
check.
environmental protection. So these are some principles of WTO that you have to follow and you have to take care. Okay, yes or no, guys? So you understood what are the principles of WTO? Any doubt, you can ask me before going to the key subject in WTO. Any doubt, guys?
Okay. So I think, yeah, half of you are there. Yes, other people are joining. Okay. So this lecture will also be there from 10:15. From next week, we will have Thursdays 10:15. We will discuss this subject. Yeah, statistics, elements of statistics, and the other two lectures are there. वो दोनों lectures तो है ही, कल भी है, कल 11:30 से है, and I think Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday you have from 3:30. So Tuesday 3:30, this one, that is Thursday 10:15, and Friday 11:30. These three lectures, we will have these three discussions. We will have. Okay, so I hope you remember last class, what we discussed in the last class. Very basic things, but that needed to be covered. Yeah, कोई भी छूटना नहीं
Sir,
चाहिए. Yes.
too much noise in background, so we couldn't understand what we are.
That is actually not noise. That is also a class going on. One thing I can do is I
We
can
actually couldn't hear you
say empty.
properly.
Okay, I think the last classroom on this floor is empty now. So I will carry my computer there. Just give me 2 minutes. I will be there. Yeah.
Position in health and safety measures, but they also cannot corona anywhere. Okay, that is one of the most important things that you should understand. Guys, I have given you any assignment on for the chapter. Least developed food cooking countries, मतलब जहाँ से आपको फूड मिल रहा है, जैसे कि इंडिया या इंडिया इंडिया में बहुत सारा एग्रीकल्चर मटेरियल है, बहुत सारा there was system called water system.
बोले शोर नहीं, वो है एक सर, वो ऐसे ही है. मैं उधर वो एमसी का क्लासरूम खाली है, मैं उधर था.
check, 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 check. Yeah. So, am I audible and visible again?
Yes, sir, but you are not visible.
Not visible. Why? Here it shows I am visible.
That due to sunlight.
Oh, okay. That will hardly make a difference. I mean, I am not going to make any hand gestures or anything. So actually, we can have like this. In between, I'll maybe switch on the video sometimes. Okay. Okay. So last class we discussed few basic things. Actually, many of the basic terminology. Yeah, what is raw data? What is process data? Yeah, what is primary data? What is secondary data? Yeah. Then what all things we discussed? How to make class intervals. Yeah. What is frequency distribution? How to calculate this frequency using tally marks. It is very simple. Yeah, it is very simple if you remember. I think I'll have that. Yeah. Yeah. So these things we discussed yesterday in the last class, not maybe yesterday, in the last class. So we had raw data, which was a list of numbers. Yeah. We distributed those list of numbers in these class intervals. How many of those numbers are there between 15 to 25? How many are there from 25 to 35? How many are there from 35 to 45 and so on? These four class intervals we made, we decided to make. Yeah, there is no hard and fast rule that the first class interval has to start from 15. Based on the data, we decide. Yeah, we basically want to cover all data points. Given any data set, maybe height of all of you, or weight of all of you, or temperature of a place over 30 days, any data set, when we decide to make class intervals, we see that all the numbers are included in some or the other class interval. Yeah, basically we take care of the lowest number is included in the first class interval, and the highest number is included in the last class interval. These are all class interval. Okay, 15 to 25 is one class interval. 25 to 35 is another class interval. Yeah. Then finding out how many numbers are there in our given data set. हमको जो data set दिया गया है उसमें से कितने number 15 to 25 है. To find that out, we calculate their frequency. We actually see the data set and we see how many numbers are there. So when we find one number, we put a mark like this. Yeah. Then we keep on putting marks like this. Second number we find, we put a mark like this. Third number we find, we put a mark like this. Fourth number, and when we find a fifth number in this interval, we put a mark across the first four, which makes it easier for us to count later on. So we can count in bunches of 5. Yeah, ये एक ऐसा दिखा तो हम समझिए कि it is 5 plus these 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here in the data set we were considering in the last class, there were 8 numbers in 15 to 25. Similarly, there were 4 numbers between 25 to 35, like that. So we also saw not only just frequency, we can calculate the frequency percentage, yeah, or percentage frequency. So for that we total the entire frequency. Yeah, that comes out to be 18 in this case. And how much percentage is 8 out of 18? So that will be the percentage frequency for first class interval. So we now know that there are 44.4% of the numbers in our given data set were in this class interval, 15 to 25. Yeah. So like this, for each class interval, we can find out the percentage frequency. Then we did one more thing, that is, because many of you were not there in the last class.
Excuse me, sir. Please
Yes.
share your screen. We can't see anything.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I mean, I just forgot to share this. Okay. Because offline classes have also started. So आप लोगों का ऑनलाइन है, पर बाकी बहुत सारे क्लासेस ऑफलाइन भी स्टार्ट हो गए हैं, फेस टू फेस. So yeah, okay, share screen. So we end up committing such errors. Okay, now I think it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So I was talking about these class intervals. One data set was given. One data set. I think, yeah. So these data set, this is the data set, number of students in different sections. So these are all the numbers. Actually, these are 18 numbers. And based on this, we decided to form fairly uniform class intervals. Okay, so we decided that we will start from 15. So 15 to 25, we made the first class interval and so on. And then try to find out in this class interval, how many of these numbers are there. In the second class interval, how many of these numbers are there. Like that, we decided the frequency. And once we have frequency, which are these, we can also calculate the frequency percentage or percentage frequency. So here the frequency is 8 and total is 80. So 8 is how much percentage of 80? That we try to find out here. So 8 divided by 18 into 100, that is 44.4% of the numbers are there in the first class interval. Similarly, 22.22% of the numbers are there in the second class interval, and so on. Not only this, we can also find out something called as cumulative frequency. Here in cumulative frequency, we are having the present class intervals frequency, like this class interval when we are considering 15 to 25, we have the frequency of that class interval and all previous class intervals frequency added to that. Here, because this is the first class interval, there is nothing to add. But as soon as we go to the second, in second, we have the second class intervals frequency plus everything before this. Everything before this 4. So 4 plus 8, which is giving us 12 as cumulative frequency. Okay. Similarly, the third class intervals cumulative frequency is 4 plus everything before this class interval. All frequencies before that class interval. Okay. So 4 plus 12, that becomes 16. And the cumulative frequency of the last class interval is 18. 2 plus everything before that, that is 18. So as a method to check this 18, this last cumulative frequency will be same as the total frequency. You can check. Once you prepare cumulative frequency, you can see that these two numbers match. The last cumulative frequency and the total of frequencies. Okay, so this thing we discussed, and one more thing we discussed. Yes, this also we discussed. These are the types of data. I know for some of you it will be a revision, but it is also true that half of you were not there. Yeah, half of you were not there in the last session. Of course, you have a recording, so I'm going a little fast. Yeah. So types of data could be qualitative or quantitative. This is one method of classification of data. So qualitative means they are not numbers. They can be anything else. They are not numbers. And when we have numbers, we have all numbers in our data set, then we call it as quantitative data. Quantitative data you can imagine easily. Just now what we used, this data set, this is quantitative data. Yeah. In qualitative data, you will have, say, colors. If I ask what is the favorite color of each one of you and collect that data, so that will be qualitative data. Yeah. Or favorite river. Yeah. Or gender is also actually qualitative data. We can convert it into quantitative sometimes based on our need. As we come across such examples, it will become clearer. Yeah. So qualitative data is anything other than numbers. Okay. Then other types of data could be geographical data. Geographical data could be like this. This was my attempt to draw the map of India. Sorry about that. Sorry about the rough drawing. Yeah. So if we want to find out location of each one of you, or locations where the last 20 national cricket matches were played. Yeah, so we can locate those locations geographically. Okay, so that will be geographical data. Yeah. Then chronological data is date and time. Yeah. So suppose we list the time, all of your date of births. So if we have that data, that is chronological data. Or one particular place, if say eruption of volcano, we measure eruption of volcano in a country over say last 500 years. So that data will be called as chronological data. So this will basically involve date and time also many times. Yeah. So these are types of data. I also alerted you that as soon as you call something as geographical data, it is not necessary that it is automatically qualitative data. It can be quantitative data also. For example, if we have geographical data in terms of latitude and longitude, yeah, we can perform some operations, mathematical operations on that data. And on qualitative data, we do not perform mathematical operations, but many times we can convert what seems like qualitative data into quantitative data and perform simple mathematical operations like addition, subtraction. Yeah. Like geographical data, which is actually positions which look like qualitative data, but we can also have latitude and longitude. Geography में आपने पढ़ा होगा latitude and longitude of a place of any point. Yeah. So we can say that latitude and longitude of this match, which happened in say Ahmedabad, and the next match happened 20 kilometers or say 50 kilometers to the east of that. Yeah, 20 kilometers of the east of that. So what we are doing, we are adding 20 kilometers to that position, 20 kilometers east. So we are performing some simple operation, addition, yeah, addition of 20 kilometers to that location. So like that, we can perform some simple operations on after converting qualitative data into quantitative. What I am saying is, it is not necessary that whatever is geographical data will always be qualitative. Yeah. Similarly, chronological data also, as such, it looks like numbers. Yeah. Yes. So it already looks like numbers. So we can add, say, 2 hours after something happens or 2 hours before something happened. If we have chronological data, what is the time difference between 2 events? We can subtract the 2 times and say one event happened at 12:50 and after 10 minutes another event happened. So like those simple operations, addition, subtraction, we can do in chronological data also. Yeah. So these are all types of data. I hope these are clear. Geographical data, what is geographical data? What is chronological data? Is it clear? I hope we are still connected. Or we are not. Yeah, participants are there. Check, 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 check. Yes, it is clear. Okay. Devain says it is clear. But am I still audible? Because check, check, check.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, because the indicator is not very much showing that. Yeah. So yes. So and one more important thing what we discussed in the last session was coefficient of variation. I think coefficient of variation we will revise again because now it's only 1 or 2 minutes left. So let me revise what is primary data and secondary data. Primary data is any data which you yourself have collected for the present research. Yeah, if you are using data collected by somebody else or uh, collected for some other research, you are using it for a different research now, that will be called as secondary data. जो भी आपने खुद कलेक्ट किया है वो प्राइमरी डेटा है और किसी और का डेटा आप यूज कर रहे हो so that is secondary data. Yeah. Many times we have to use secondary data, many times primary data is better. For example, financial statements. Financial statements of a company, balance sheet, profit and loss account, those are all secondary data. Secondary data. Yeah. So if you want to do some analysis of profit made by the company, made by a particular company, say Tata Motors, you will be using financial statements which are already prepared. It will be actually very what should I say, very illogical to try to visit all the plants of Tata Motors and actually finding out profit by doing all the calculations all over again. Yeah, because they have already done that. They have published that in the form of balance sheet and profit and loss account. So it is intelligent thing to do from at our end to use that data and not go around collecting primary data when it is not required, and most probably we will not be able to do as good a work as Tata Motors itself has done in preparing their financial statements. So in that case we should be using secondary data. Yeah, it is not bad or it is not that primary data is superior or secondary data is superior. As per the requirement, we should use secondary data or we should collect primary data and use it. Okay. Then the other distinction, one more important distinction is between discrete and continuous data. So discrete is when the variable, any variable can take only whole number values. Yeah. So like the last example we gave, today's date is 30. Yeah. So tomorrow's date will be 31. Tomorrow's date will be first actually. Day after tomorrow will be second. There will be no day with 1.5 date or 2.5 date. Yeah. There will be nothing in between. So those situations are called discrete. The data in those situations are called discrete data. Like the number of people, the number of students in a class. It will be 25, it will be 30, it could be 15. It will never be 11.25, yeah, or 12.36. So we will nothing have in between the two whole numbers. Yeah. So that is discrete data. And continuous data is, for example, height. So somebody's height could be 5 feet 5 inches, somebody's height could be 5 feet 6 inches. And it doesn't mean that somebody's height cannot be in between these two. There could be 5 feet 5.2 inches. There could be any number in between also. Yeah, that is possible. So this type of data is called continuous data. So further we will discuss skewness, the concept of skewness in the next session. That will be tomorrow, yeah, according to the timetable. I think it is 11:30. So tomorrow we will meet again and discuss further. I hope those who missed the last class, this revision was a little helpful, and the rest of the things you can know by following the last class recording and also discussing with your friends. It is very important because you all are enrolled in a course. That is a very good thing. You are all in the same college, same class. So you should discuss. Yeah. Except for exams, you should always discuss with yourself, within yourself, with your friends. All right. So we will end this discussion here, this revision here. Yeah. And we will meet again tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.